In this video, I'm going to explain to you what a brand is, how you can build one, and how that work can help you build a visual brand identity. Now, what is a brand? A brand is literally the public image, the reputation, or the identity that has been conceived around something that is to be marketed or promoted. Think about yourself. Who are you to people when you leave the room? Are you trusted? Are you admired? Are you remembered? What is the image that people have of you? Your brand is simply your reputation. Now, before you try to build a brand, there's going to be some questions that you need to ask yourself. Three major important ones are: what does your company or brand do/provide to the world, and why does it matter? Trick a little two-part question there. Basically, this comes down to knowing your why. Why are you about to do what you're about to do? What is the purpose of your YouTube channel? What is the purpose of your small business? What is the purpose of your nonprofit? You have to know why you're doing it, not only for knowledge of your brand, but also motivation when times get tough. Because when times get tough, you might want to quit or drop the idea. Your why is what's going to motivate you to keep going. Who is your target audience? Who is this for? You know why you're doing this, but for whom are you doing this? Because, well, one, you will go further if you're providing a service or product or some type of problem solving for someone else, because that will draw people to you. So who is your target audience? Because that's going to inform how you move, how you communicate, and it may even inform or alter the product or service that you're providing. And who is your competition, and what is your special sauce? Another two-part question there. You have to know the landscape of the market that you're entering into and know how are you going to differentiate yourself. Now, all of this is before anybody has sketched out any type of logo or anything like that. That comes later, but this is fundamental. Knowing why you're doing this, knowing for who are you doing this for, or for whomst are you doing this for? Probably not right. And who is your competition? What other similar entities will you be judged beside, and how can you make yourself stand out? Now, the how you can make yourself stand out, that's what gets into some of the other things that we're going to discuss. You have decided that you're going to create a brand, and you know that brand, or at least the foundations of that brand. Now, the link between what a brand is and what your visual brand identity is the following. Your visual brand identity is the toolkit that you will use to communicate and promote your brand. Interbrand, an international brand consultancy, describes a brand as the sum of all expressions by which an identity intends to be recognized. So the visual brand identity is the mode of communication, the visuals that describe your brand, the logo, the word mark, everything that you're going to put your stamp on visually that represents your brand in the marketplace. To build your brand and to build your visual brand identity, you need to build with intention. You must have the intention to want to be recognized through certain expressions. Take my work for Tau Beta Sigma, for instance. I had the joy of putting together the new visual brand identity for the sorority. But at the very first stop on that journey of building this brand identity, I used words. So in the beginning of the visual brand identity of Tau Beta Sigma, you'll notice that there are words that I use to, what are the words that come about when you think Tau Beta Sigma? Because the words represent the brand, and you can use that as inspiration to basically inform how you're going to transform these words, transform these purposes, transform this visual representation. There are various brands that you can search online. You can just look up any big company, any nonprofit, anything that you're well aware of that has a big footprint, and just input that name, and then at the end put brand identity or brand guidelines. Because not only are you building a visual brand identity, this is the guidebook. It's not just a toolkit, but it can also be a guidebook. So when someone else takes the reins of your visuals, they know exactly how you want to be represented and what tools that you want them to use to do such. You build on the ideals that you set out in the beginning through practice. So with a brand, it's not just what you say it is. It's not just what you want people to think. It's their experience with you, with your company, with your nonprofit that is actually the truest indicator of what your brand actually is. Like, you can tell somebody you have the best cookies in the world, but if when people interact with your cookies and they try them and the cookies are trash, they're not going to say, hey, that's Best Cookie Co. That's going to be like, oh, that's the joint with the bad cookies. Don't go there. That's your brand. Like, that's what people are saying. So the ideals that you espouse have to actually be put in consistent practice. If you're claiming you have the best, then you at least have to have a product that people enjoy and use and actually solve the problem that they're looking to be solved. Visuals are the marker that connect the product and service to the entity, so people can pick your product out of a lineup of similar things. Establish the brand first, invest in your visual brand identity, so when they're connecting that great experience or great product, they're connecting it with a visual that is also well done. Now, before we move on in the video, I just want to remind you to please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and let me know in the comment section down below what brand is a brand that you trust. Now, of course, visual brand identity, it's my wheelhouse. I love creating them. I love looking at well done ones. So when you're creating a visual brand identity, like I said, it's about having the toolkit. So it's not just the logo, it's all kinds of different things that spout out from the main logo. Like, the logo can be your nucleus, but you have to have a lot of things that shoot out from that. For example, Young Professionals of Stillwater, I got to redesign the brand for the Young Professionals. So not only did that include the main logo, it included event logos, it included promotional material, how we're going to market ourselves, the colors, the little flares that let people know that, hey, that's a YPS event. Way back when, I just created a project out of thin air called Hotel Rain because I was fascinated at the time with hotel branding. So with that, I created the logo, but not just the logo, but the collateral, business cards, notepads, keys, the hotel key designs, all kinds of visual things that all work together. TJ and I on Design the Writer created Hogwarts House rebrands, and one of those rebrands was Hufflepuff, the best house. And I included the logo, but also signs and certain language that we discussed about how would you brand that house. Pawnee, Indiana, from my favorite show of all time, Parks and Recreation, I made a seal, and then I made a word mark, and then I even made, vehicle wraps, business card, all kinds of different things and different applications for the logo, the colors, the look, the feel, how we're communicating, what's going to be seen. One of my most rewarding projects I had when I worked at the national headquarters of Kappa Kappa Psi and Tau Beta Sigma was designing the brand for the national convention that happens every 2 years. So while I was there, I designed the brand for 2015, 2017, 2019, 2021, and 2023, each pulling from the location and making, the program, making not just the logo, but the video that hypes up that particular convention, the NIB concert programs, like a bunch of things that all had to work together to present that and be keepsakes for people that attended. My wife and I created the brand for our wedding, so it's going to be a lot of green. I even did a video about that, how breaking down kind of how I use some of the consistent fonts and the consistent visuals to kind of represent the brand of the wedding overall. So to review, the brand is literally a public image, reputation, or identity that is conceived around something that is being marketed. Know why you're creating this brand, for whom, are you creating this brand? And what other similar brands are out there, and how are you going to make yourself unique? Invest in your visual brand identity, because that's going to represent you in rooms where you are not there. How you communicate, the communication language that you use, font choices, what type of photos do you want? Do you want your brand to be fun? Do you want your brand to be serious and sophisticated? Research other brands. Make sure that you are not just creating a brand, but you're creating a visual brand identity, a communication language. Make sure that your personality or your brand's personality is properly communicated. And if you need any help with that, be sure to hit up shyside.com/contact, fill out my questionnaire, and let's get to work. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know in the comment section down below, what is your favorite brand? How are they communicating themselves visually? What makes you like them? And if you're looking for more content, you can check out these two videos here. One's going to be about National Convention 2021, and the other is going to be my Pawnee, Indiana rebrand deep dive. You know, breaking down as a case study, like how I came to certain decisions on that brand. Remember, as you go along in life, teach as you learn and inspire as you do. See y'all next time.